One of the hardest realities in dating is recognizing when a woman is simply not interested. Many men ignore the subtle, or sometimes obvious, signals and waste time, energy, and emotional investment trying to change her mind. Female psychology is clear. When attraction is absent, a woman's behavior will naturally reflect disinterest, even if she tries to hide it. Understanding these behaviors is critical because it allows you to protect your value, preserve your confidence, and focus on women who genuinely appreciate your presence. Disinterest is not about you being less than or not enough. It is about alignment, attraction, and her own priorities. When you can recognize the signs early, you avoid frustration, emotional drain, and unnecessary chasing. In this video, I will outline 7 unmistakable behaviors that reveal a woman is not interested in you and explain the psychology behind each one. These insights are designed to give you clarity, help you maintain self-respect, and empower you to take decisive action rather than wasting time on someone who will never meet your emotional or romantic standards. By paying attention to her actions and not just her words, you gain a realistic perspective on the connection and can navigate dating strategically. Learning to spot disinterest is not about cynicism. It is about self-awareness, confidence, and emotional intelligence. Men who master this skill create space for relationships where attraction, respect, and desire are mutual, while avoiding unnecessary heartache. Let's begin by looking at the first clear sign that she is not interested in you. 1. She rarely initiates contact. One of the clearest signs that a woman is not interested in you is that she rarely initiates contact, whether it's calls, texts, or attempts to make plans, and this behavior is rooted deeply in female psychology. Women who are genuinely interested in a man will find ways to engage, even subtly, because attraction drives effort, curiosity, and desire to connect. When she consistently leaves the responsibility of communication to you, it indicates a lack of motivation to invest time or energy into the relationship. Many men ignore the sign because they confuse politeness, occasional engagement, or minimal responsiveness with interest, but repeated patterns of leaving you to reach out first are significant red flags. This behavior often signals that her attention is elsewhere, that she does not prioritize you, or that the emotional or romantic spark is missing. Responding by over-messaging, pushing for attention, or attempting to compel her engagement only reinforces a low-value dynamic, demonstrating neediness and diminishing your attractiveness. The key for men is to observe patterns over time rather than isolated instances and recognize that consistent lack of initiation is a psychological cue of disinterest. Women who are attracted will naturally create opportunities to interact, invest in communication, and engage in meaningful dialogue, whereas disinterested women often give one-word replies, delay responses without reason, or seem distracted during interactions. Understanding this allows you to maintain composure, protect your emotional energy, and avoid wasting time trying to manufacture interest that isn't there. Men who internalize this principle focus on reciprocity, attention balance, and investing in women who actively show engagement and enthusiasm, rather than chasing someone who consistently leaves the effort to them. Recognizing lack of initiation as a true sign of disinterest allows you to filter out connections that are unlikely to progress, preserving your dignity and emotional stability while signaling to yourself and others that your time and attention are valuable. Over time, patterns like these accumulate, and the repeated absence of proactive engagement becomes undeniable, providing a clear basis for stepping back and redirecting focus. This behavior is rarely about external circumstances. It reflects internal motivation, attraction level, and emotional investment. Men who respond intelligently to this signal do not react emotionally or attempt to manipulate her attention. They adjust their energy, maintain independence, and seek relationships where mutual effort and desire are present. By respecting this cue, you avoid wasted effort, protect your confidence, and ensure that your interactions are aligned with women who are genuinely interested, reinforcing self-respect and high-value presence in the dating world. 2. She makes excuses to avoid spending time. Another unmistakable sign that a woman is not interested in you is when she consistently makes excuses to avoid spending time together. Female psychology shows that when a woman is attracted, she will prioritize moments to connect, even if it requires effort or adjustment of her schedule. Disinterest, on the other hand, manifests as repeated cancellations, vague promises, or over-explaining why she cannot meet. Many men misinterpret these excuses as temporary obstacles, convincing themselves that she is genuinely busy or stressed, but patterns of avoidance rarely lie. When a woman repeatedly finds reasons not to engage, it reflects a lack of motivation, emotional investment, or desire to be present in your life. Men often fall into the trap of persistence, continuing to plan, rearrange schedules, or pressure her to commit time, thinking that effort will spark interest. In reality, this behavior signals a mismatch in priorities, and overinvesting only reduces your perceived value and communicates neediness. The correct approach is to observe patterns objectively. One or two legitimate conflicts are normal, but consistent avoidance indicates disinterest. Women who are genuinely attracted will carve out time, show enthusiasm to meet, and make efforts to engage meaningfully, whereas disinterested women display hesitation, minimal engagement, and repeated deflection. Recognizing this behavior early allows you to maintain emotional composure, preserve self-respect, and avoid wasting energy on one-sided connections. Instead of attempting to coerce or overcompensate, focus on cultivating your own life, goals, and social environment, which naturally enhances your value while providing clarity about her intentions. This principle also teaches men to value reciprocity. Relationships should involve mutual effort, and a consistent lack of willingness to spend time together is a critical cue that attraction and interest are absent. Ignoring this sign often leads to frustration, emotional depletion, and lowered self-esteem, whereas acknowledging it empowers you to make decisions aligned with your worth. Patterns of avoidance are rarely accidental. They reflect genuine priorities and emotional engagement. By stepping back and observing without chasing, you allow reality to become clear, reducing wasted effort and emotional strain. Women who care will find ways to be present, communicate interest, and prioritize connection, while disinterested women will continue to offer excuses, creating a natural filter. Recognizing this behavior ensures that you focus on meaningful, reciprocal relationships, maintain independence, and preserve confidence. Understanding that repeated avoidance signals disinterest allows you to act decisively, protect your time and energy, and invest in women who genuinely value your presence, reinforcing your high-value status in the dating world while avoiding patterns that diminish attraction, respect, and emotional stability. 3. She gives short or vague responses. A third sign that a woman is not interested in you is when her responses are consistently short, vague, or non-committal. Female psychology demonstrates that interest is reflected not just in words, but in effort and engagement during communication. When a woman is attracted, she naturally invests time in meaningful conversation, asks questions, shares details about her life, and shows curiosity about yours. Disinterest, on the other hand, manifests as one-word replies, delayed responses, or messages that lack substance. Many men misinterpret these behaviors as mere busyness or distraction, convincing themselves that they can win her over with persistence. However, repeated patterns of minimal engagement are rarely coincidental. They reflect her level of emotional investment and motivation to interact. Men often fall into the trap of overcompensating, sending multiple follow-ups, or over-explaining themselves in an attempt to elicit a more enthusiastic response. But this behavior communicates neediness, lowers perceived value, and reinforces the lack of attraction. The key is to observe trends over time. Occasional brief responses happen, but if most of your interactions feel one-sided, it is a clear indicator of disinterest. Women who are genuinely attracted will engage actively, respond promptly, and show genuine interest in conversation, even in small messages or casual exchanges. Recognizing short or vague responses as a warning sign allows you to preserve emotional energy, maintain self-respect, and avoid chasing someone who is not reciprocating effort. It also provides an opportunity to reassess the connection. Relationships require mutual communication and investment, and when one party consistently underdelivers, attraction and respect naturally diminish. Responding intelligently means avoiding overreaction, not pressuring her for attention, and redirecting your focus to interactions where engagement is mutual. This approach maintains your composure, reinforces your independence, and ensures that your energy is spent on women who are genuinely interested in getting to know you. Patterns of minimal communication reflect priorities and emotional engagement, not external circumstances, and recognizing this helps prevent frustration, wasted time, and lowered confidence. By stepping back and evaluating the consistency of her responses, you gain clarity about her level of interest and avoid investing emotionally in a connection that is unlikely to progress. Women who care will naturally contribute to conversation, ask questions, and show curiosity, while disinterested women will continue to offer short, vague replies, creating a natural filter for attraction. Understanding this behavior allows you to act decisively, maintain high-value status, and focus on women who match your level of interest, reinforcing confidence, self-respect, and emotional stability while avoiding patterns that diminish attraction and mutual engagement. Recognizing these cues early ensures that your time and energy are directed toward meaningful connections where interest and effort are reciprocal. 4. She avoids eye contact or physical presence. Another unmistakable sign that a woman is not interested in you is when she avoids eye contact, physical proximity, or opportunities for in-person connection. Female psychology shows that genuine attraction often manifests through nonverbal cues, lingering glances, leaning in, light touches, or an eagerness to share space with a man. Disinterest, conversely, is reflected in body language that creates distance, closed-off posture, or reluctance to engage physically. Many men underestimate the importance of these cues, focusing solely on words or occasional politeness, but repeated avoidance of eye contact or physical presence is a strong indicator that she does not feel drawn to you. This behavior may include crossing arms, turning away, maintaining minimal physical engagement, or choosing seating and positioning that creates distance. Men often respond by attempting to force closeness, increasing touch, or overcompensating through verbal effort, but this only highlights neediness and reduces perceived value. Recognizing and respecting nonverbal signals is critical. Attraction is a combination of emotional, verbal, and physical engagement, and when one or more elements are consistently absent, the dynamic is likely unbalanced. Women who are genuinely interested will find ways to engage physically, make eye contact, and create subtle opportunities for connection, whereas disinterested women maintain distance to protect their emotional and physical boundaries. Observing these cues allows men to preserve dignity, maintain composure, and avoid investing time in interactions that are unlikely to lead to mutual attraction. Physical avoidance is rarely accidental. It reflects her internal state, interest level, and emotional investment, and ignoring it often results in frustration, diminished confidence, and wasted effort. The intelligent approach is to respect her space, avoid forcing closeness, and shift attention to relationships where engagement is natural and reciprocal. Understanding body language and nonverbal behavior provides clarity that verbal statements alone cannot, allowing you to accurately assess interest levels without overanalyzing or misinterpreting the situation. By stepping back and observing patterns of avoidance, you protect emotional energy, maintain independence, and reinforce self-respect. Women who care will naturally create physical proximity, make eye contact, and engage in small gestures that indicate interest, whereas those who are disinterested will continue to keep distance, signaling a lack of attraction. Recognizing this behavior enables men to act decisively, preserve confidence, and invest in relationships where mutual attraction, engagement, and respect are present. It ensures that your energy is focused on women who match your level of interest, while avoiding situations that diminish self-esteem, lower perceived value, and create frustration. Mastering the interpretation of these cues strengthens emotional intelligence, enhances dating strategy, and ensures that your presence is reserved for meaningful, reciprocal connections where interest is genuine and consistent. 5. She cancels plans frequently. One of the most obvious signs that a woman is not interested in you is when she consistently cancels plans or avoids committing to scheduled time together. Female psychology demonstrates that attraction motivates effort, and when a woman is genuinely interested, she will prioritize being with a man, even if it requires minor adjustments to her schedule. Disinterest, on the other hand, manifests as repeated cancellations, vague rescheduling, or last-minute excuses that lack sincerity or urgency. Many men rationalize this behavior, believing she is genuinely busy, stressed, or dealing with external pressures, but the pattern itself is the critical indicator. Over time, frequent cancellations signal a lack of motivation, emotional investment, or desire to maintain a connection. Men often respond by attempting to persuade her to keep plans, offering apologies, or overcompensating to accommodate her schedule, which unintentionally communicates neediness and lowers perceived value. Recognizing the pattern allows you to protect your emotional energy, maintain self-respect, and avoid wasting time on one-sided efforts. Women who are genuinely attracted will make adjustments, communicate proactively, and ensure that time spent together is prioritized, even in small ways, because they value the connection. Conversely, disinterested women consistently deprioritize the relationship, and their repeated avoidance becomes a filter that highlights lack of mutual interest. Understanding this principle helps men set boundaries, redirect focus to people who reciprocate effort, and maintain composure without appearing reactive or desperate. Repeated cancellations are rarely coincidental. They reflect internal priorities and genuine interest, not random scheduling conflicts. By observing patterns instead of isolated incidents, you gain clarity about her intentions and avoid investing time and energy in a dynamic that is unlikely to develop into mutual attraction. Responding strategically means stepping back, limiting effort to reschedule, and focusing on women who demonstrate consistent interest, engagement, and respect for your time. This approach protects self-esteem, maintains confidence, and signals that you value yourself and your time, which is inherently attractive. Women who are genuinely interested make plans a priority, follow through, and communicate clearly, while those who are disinterested continue to cancel or avoid commitments, providing unmistakable evidence of their lack of investment. Recognizing this behavior ensures that you make decisions aligned with your standards, emotional well-being, and value, rather than wasting effort on one-sided connections. By focusing on patterns of reliability, engagement, and effort, you filter out women who are not genuinely invested, reinforce your high-value presence, and preserve energy for relationships where mutual interest, respect, and attraction are present. Understanding and responding appropriately to frequent cancellations strengthens emotional intelligence, prevents frustration, and ensures that your dating life is aligned with meaningful, reciprocal connections that respect your time, effort, and emotional investment. 6. She rarely shows genuine interest in your life. A clear indicator that a woman is not interested in you is when she rarely shows curiosity or genuine interest in your life, experiences, or thoughts. Female psychology demonstrates that attraction naturally drives engagement, and when a woman is genuinely drawn to a man, she will ask questions, listen attentively, and remember details about him, showing that she values his presence and wants to deepen connection. Disinterest, however, is reflected in conversations that feel superficial, one-sided, or perfunctory. She may respond minimally, avoid asking meaningful questions, or quickly change the subject back to herself. Many men overlook this because occasional small talk or polite conversation can seem normal, but consistent patterns of disengagement reveal a lack of investment in the relationship. Men often try to compensate by sharing more, seeking validation, or prompting responses, but these behaviors signal neediness, lower perceived value, and can accelerate the fading of attraction. Recognizing lack of genuine interest allows you to maintain composure, protect emotional energy, and redirect focus to women who actively engage, reciprocate curiosity, and invest effort in the dynamic. Women who are attracted naturally demonstrate attentiveness, follow up on details you've shared, and show emotional presence during conversations, whereas disinterested women treat interactions as obligations rather than opportunities to connect. This pattern is rarely accidental. It reflects her internal priorities, level of attraction, and emotional engagement, and ignoring it often results in wasted time, frustration, and diminished confidence. The intelligent response is to observe the consistency of her engagement, limit overcompensation, and invest in relationships where interest and curiosity are mutual. Maintaining boundaries, emotional stability, and composure in response to disengagement reinforces self-respect and communicates high value without chasing or over-explaining. Recognizing this behavior also helps men assess long-term compatibility, as genuine interest is foundational for emotional connection, trust, and mutual attraction. Women who are genuinely invested make conversations dynamic, ask meaningful questions, and show curiosity about your experiences, while those who are not interested remain distant, disengaged, and superficial in communication. Understanding this cue allows you to act decisively, avoid patterns of one-sided effort, and focus on connections that offer reciprocity and emotional fulfillment. By filtering for consistent engagement, attentiveness, and curiosity, you protect your confidence, maintain high-value status, and avoid investing in relationships where attraction and effort are unbalanced. Mastering this principle ensures that your time and energy are spent on women who genuinely care about you, creating a dynamic of mutual respect, desire, and connection while preventing emotional depletion, frustration, and diminished self-esteem. Recognizing lack of genuine interest is a powerful tool in navigating modern dating intelligently and strategically, keeping your focus on relationships where attraction and investment are reciprocal and meaningful. 7. She makes no effort to include you in her life. The final unmistakable sign that a woman is not interested in you is when she makes no effort to include you in her life, whether socially, emotionally, or in shared experiences. Female psychology shows that when a woman is genuinely attracted, she seeks to create connection by integrating a man into aspects of her daily world, introducing him to friends, inviting him to events, sharing personal moments, or making time for shared activities. Disinterest, however, is revealed through consistent exclusion. She avoids introducing you to people important to her, rarely invites you to social settings, or keeps your interactions superficial and compartmentalized. Many men fail to notice this because they focus solely on the time spent together or occasional interaction, but repeated exclusion signals that she does not prioritize building connection or seeing you as part of her life. Men often respond by trying harder, seeking inclusion, pressing for introductions, or attempting to become more involved, but these actions communicate desperation and reduce perceived value. Recognizing this pattern allows you to maintain composure, protect your emotional energy, and redirect your focus toward women who actively create opportunities to integrate you into their world. Women who are genuinely interested demonstrate consistent effort to involve you in meaningful aspects of their life, while disinterested women maintain distance, avoid engagement, and keep the relationship superficial. This behavior is rarely accidental. It reflects her priorities, level of attraction, and emotional investment. Ignoring it leads to frustration, diminished confidence, and wasted effort, while acknowledging it gives clarity about the viability of the connection. The intelligent response is to observe patterns of inclusion, maintain independence, and avoid overcompensating for lack of effort, which preserves self-respect and reinforces your value. When you stop pushing for integration, you create natural boundaries that highlight your independence and high-value status, which are attractive qualities even in the face of disinterest. Understanding this cue also helps men assess compatibility and long-term potential, as genuine relationships require mutual inclusion, effort, and shared experiences. Women who are invested find ways to include you, communicate openly, and create shared moments, whereas those who are not interested consistently avoid integration, signaling a lack of emotional commitment. Recognizing this behavior allows men to act decisively, focus on relationships with reciprocity, and maintain dignity while avoiding patterns that reduce attraction and self-esteem. By filtering for consistent inclusion, engagement, and effort, you protect your emotional energy, maintain confidence, and ensure that your dating life aligns with women who genuinely value your presence. Mastering this principle allows you to navigate female psychology effectively, prioritize connections with mutual interest, and avoid wasting time or energy on one-sided relationships, creating a framework for dating that preserves respect, attraction, and emotional stability. This final cue, when observed alongside the previous 6, provides a complete picture of disinterest, allowing men to act with clarity, confidence, and strategic purpose. Understanding female psychology and recognizing the 7 clear signs of disinterest, rarely initiating contact, making excuses to avoid time together, giving short or vague responses, avoiding eye contact or physical presence, frequently canceling plans, showing little genuine interest in your life, and making no effort to include you in her world, is essential for protecting your emotional energy, maintaining self-respect, and navigating the modern dating world effectively. Many men fail to see these patterns because they focus on isolated interactions, misinterpret politeness as interest, or fall into the trap of chasing someone who is clearly disengaged. Female psychology demonstrates that attraction drives effort, curiosity, and investment, so consistent absence of these behaviors is a reliable indicator of disinterest. Recognizing these signs early allows you to avoid frustration, wasted time, and emotional depletion while preserving confidence and dignity. Responding strategically means observing patterns objectively, maintaining composure, not overcompensating, and redirecting focus toward women who actively reciprocate effort and show genuine interest. Each of these behaviors provides insight into her priorities, emotional investment, and level of attraction, allowing you to make informed decisions about where to invest your time and energy. By filtering out disinterested women and focusing on connections with mutual engagement, you reinforce your high-value status, protect your self-esteem, and create opportunities for meaningful, fulfilling relationships. Mastery of these principles ensures that you maintain control of your dating life, prioritize alignment and reciprocity, and avoid situations that diminish attraction or emotional stability. Men who understand and act on these cues cultivate relationships that are based on genuine desire, respect, and consistent effort, positioning themselves as confident, composed, and emotionally intelligent. Recognizing disinterest is not about cynicism or negativity. It is about clarity, self-respect, and strategic action that preserves your emotional well-being while allowing attraction and connection to grow naturally with women who truly value your presence. By internalizing these 7 signs and responding decisively, you maintain independence, protect your energy, and focus on opportunities where mutual interest, engagement, and respect create the foundation for real connection, attraction, and long-term potential in the dating world.